Hello gentle viewers, this is Indian. Welcoming you to an extra special Saturday bonus video of Fort Sumter, the Secession Crisis, 1860-1861. Fort Sumter is a digital adaptation of a board game by GMT Games that takes players through the years 1860 and 1861. It is historically based, but historical accuracy is obviously not the goal. And I really find it's easiest to play the game if I show it to you. It's a lot of fun, very short. In fact, we're going to get through an entire game in one video. So do let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see another playthrough of this at some point in the future. But for now, we're going to pick play offline. The tutorial is very good. I highly recommend it. And it basically tells you what to do each time, but explains the strategy behind the game. You can play as the Unionist or the Secessionist. It is a two-player game. We're not going to use this variant rule because I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm actually going to play as the Secessionist this time. The last three games I've played as the Unionists, so I just want to try something different. One thing I want to say before we begin, the game does a really good job of not ignoring the historical aspects of the game, but it's not the focal point. It reminds me of another board game, Freedom the Underground Railroad, which does not have a digital adaptation, as far as I know. Which also deals with fairly complex historical material in a very abstract way. Which I think is appropriate for topics like this. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the AI is going to go first, because whenever your scores are tied, the Union always goes first. And that can have advantages and disadvantages, and those will hopefully become apparent as we play through the game.
Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves.
I see, pausing it hides it. Okay. So, the AI is going to hate me, but they can't force me to go. So we're going to talk about the very simple board that you're looking at. There are 12 spaces in the game, which represent what they call political dimensions. We have political opinion, which are the green ones. Public opinion, which is green. Political opinion is something very different. Yellow is politics, gray is secession, red is armaments. If you control all the spaces of one, you get a victory point at the end of a round. The game has 3 rounds, but can be started early if you spend tokens really, really quickly. Because all of your tokens come from your token pool. Every card in the game has 3 things that we need to pay attention to. The first is the number in the top left. This tells us whether it's a Unionist event, a Secessionist event, and how much it's worth. You play every card in the game either as an event or as a value. Every card is either worth 1, 2, or 3, but it's always better to play the event if you can. If there were a blue square in the top left, I wouldn't be able to play this card, because it would be a Unionist card. So what you're going to do is add tokens to try to take every space that you possibly can, and then at the end of the game, whoever has the most victory points wins. But the first part of every round is picking an objective. You always draw 2, and you get to keep 1. So this says, if we control the Deep South space, we can remove 2 tokens from a Secessionist space or 1 anywhere on the board. This will make it easier for us to hold on to that particular dimension, the Secessionist dimension. And we do have 1 card that'll help us take 1 Secessionist space. We need to remember that we're playing second, so we're going to be reacting to what the Union's doing as much as we are making our own decision. Now, we can also pick this card, Newspapers, which is really powerful. And we do have a card to help us get that, the Southern Senators Resign card. Now, as you might expect, a lot of the cards in our deck are going to help us take secessionist stuff.
Old as
So just because we don't have it now doesn't mean we won't be able to take it later. So I think we're going to take the newspaper's objective. If we meet our objective, we get a bonus, this bonus here, and a victory point. Last thing to mention, each one of these spaces with a white border is a pivotal space, and this gives you a powerful bonus at the end of the round to help you take the rest of the spaces in the category. So we're going to pick newspapers as our objective. We don't know what their objective is, but we always know what ours is. And so the AI is thinking about it's playing its first card. For this first round, we're going to go kind of slow just so I can explain what each card is. Okay. So this is one of the cards that lets you do one or the other. Either side can play this, but he's chosen to play it. I say he. It could be a she. It's a computer. Whatever. The opponent has chosen to play it for the value of 3 and put 3 spaces in Washington. But you can also place the Peace Commissioner in either Washington or the border states, which means no one can add or remove tokens from it. This normally only gets unlocked for the first person who unlocks this tension space. So you'll notice 15, 14, 13 is where he got his tokens from. As you remove tokens from your token pool, eventually you'll get into the final crisis mode. When both of us get here, the game instantly goes into final scoring. Otherwise, you get 3 rounds. And there's some different bonuses and penalties. It really helps to get into escalation first because you get extra tokens.
Human action can be
but the first person to get into detention, the other player gets to place the Peace Commissioner. Okay. So, the cards in our hand dictate a pretty obvious strategy. We're going to want to focus heavily on armaments. And we're going to want to play our last card last. We're going to want to play Southern Senators Resign last, just to see if they're going to probe the newspaper spot. I bet he's probably got Washington as his objective, and there's nothing we can do about that. We don't have any cards that let us do anything with that, apart from Southern Senators Resign, and it's not worth it, because they'll still have control of it. So we're going to go and play gun batteries. We're going to put 2 on the Federal Arsenal, because it is the pivotal space. And we're going to put 1 on Fort Sumter. And so now the AI is going to react and play accordingly. And based on what the AI does, we will create our own strategy. Oh, damn. That's a good card. So basically, he pulled 4 tokens out of his token pool. It looks like he also moved 2. And he can add them to secession or political spaces. Right now, and there's nothing I can really do about it, really. The AI now has control of 1 dimension. And he has the battleground space, the pivotal space for it. I keep talking Twilight Struggle. Pivotal space, not battleground space.
It is the complete absolute subjection of one
I don't want him to do that. So we're going to react. I'm going to change my strategy a bit. We're going to play this plantation class card. And we're going to put both in the border states. Because I'd like to take this pivotal space if I can. And if I can, I've at least disrupted his strategy. And the good news is it doesn't look like the AI has anything to play to put something on the newspaper space, which means we can grab it at the very end. Which is pretty powerful. Ah, you dirty little whore. Interesting. So he couldn't play this card as the event says, but he can use it as the value. Unfortunately for him, my Southern Senators Resign is going to let me kick him out of the newspaper spot. And that finishes the first turn. So let's look at the board, talk about what's happened so far. The AI controls no dimensions, and neither do I. That might change, though, based on our bonuses. I have 2 pivotal spots, 3 pivotal spots actually. He only has 1 in Washington, which is a pretty handy advantage. He's probably going to get control of the politics dimension. There's nothing I can do to stop that, but I could get 3 of them. This was a really good turn for us, because the AI went all in on trying to take Washington and the secession, and I had the perfect counter for it. So the next step is going to be we take our pivotal space bonuses. And so the AI basically got to move a token. So I get to move them from the secession, or I can remove them.
If there is any
I'm going to go ahead and kick you out of the Deep South.
than all others in free governments. It is that which asserts the exclusive right of a free people to form
No, wait, I'm
and
not going to
adopt
do
their
that.
own
There's a smarter
fundamental
strategy.
law, and to manage and regulate their own internal affairs and domestic institutions.
I'm going to reverse that. There's a smarter move here. No, there isn't actually. No, because even if I remove this one here... you know, let's just kick them out of Texas and the Deep South. Now I can affect the public opinion space. And here I do have more options. I'm going to kick you out of the newspaper spot. And then I'm going to move over to state assemblies. I still won't take the dimension. There's nothing I can do about that. Why didn't I get my bonus for the armaments? Or did I just miss it? So the AI got a victory point because I badly misread something there. Northern state houses. Well, shit. He just kicked me out of the newspaper spot. That's alright, though. I can remove 2 tokens from any one space, though. Let's see how he likes not being in Washington anymore. Why did I not get the ability to move from the Federal Arsenal over to Fort Pickens? Did I skip over it without paying attention, or does it not work if you control? That's weird. I don't know if that's a bug or not. But in any case, that's what happened.
There are only 2 sides to this question. Every man must be for the United States or against it. There can be no neutrals in this war.
So we have Calhoun's Legacy, which is really going to let us move on the secessionist bases this turn, which is pretty good. We've got Minutemen will help us with armaments, but our other 2 cards don't really help us. I think we're going to take the Fort Sumter one, because it's going to be the easiest one for us to take.
There are 2 antagonistical elements of
So
society.
how is the AI going to react
and
to that?
slavery. Freedom is in harmony with the system of government.
That's
and
rough.
The spirit of the age, and is therefore passive and quiescent.
That is very hard
Slavery is
for
in
us to
conflict with
combat.
that system, with justice and with humanity.
Like, I can take Texas in the Deep South, but it's not going to matter because he's got the border states. Well played. You know what? Let's take Washington. And see if we can disrupt things a bit for him. Or we could try to move into the newspaper spot. But I think this is a very vulnerable thing we could do here. So we're going to go ahead and play it for the value. I'm going to put 2 tokens in Washington. If you're going to screw me up, I'm going to screw you up. See, this is not nearly as favorable a hand for us. I didn't talk about the Final Crisis cards. We'll get to that at the end. Actually, once he's played his card here. Oh, damn, he's got newspapers tied up. Okay. So the very last turn of the game is called the Final Crisis. And these words on the bottom of the cards, these will determine some bonuses that you can get at the end that'll help you strengthen your control over a certain area or spread out into other areas. So last turn we put an armaments card. We're going to play an armaments card this turn. We don't have a choice. Shit. This is going to be a bad turn for us. I think the AI is going to get quite a few victory points. Because all I can do is disrupt them. Play Calhoun's Legacy. Actually, no, because the most you can ever have in a space is 4. You'll notice that I've already triggered the escalation. And unfortunately, they're going to get to play the Peace Commissioner. Because I breached tension first. So I get 3 bonus tokens. Actually, I really don't want him playing the Peace Commissioner. I think that would be bad. So we are going to play this event. But we're only going to add 2.
I am the inferior
And stop.
of any man whose rights I trample underfoot.
Which will keep us from breaching, because I'd really like to get the Peace Commissioner if I can get it. And then I can use it to disrupt him. Or just protect Washington. Are you going to do me the favor and breach? You did, so I get to play the Peace Commissioner anywhere I want to. Now, the really interesting move would be to put him in Fort Sumter for 2 reasons. First of all, as you can see, it's worth a victory point at the end of the game. Whoever owns it automatically gets a victory point. I don't want to put it in the border states because I'm hoping to do something later on to change this. Washington will be... I'm going to put it in Fort Sumter. I think that's the best play. Because right now the only contested... Because he's not going to be able to take Washington from me. Because I get to play the last card. This is the board, depending on how I alter it. This is the advantage of going second. Yeah, we're putting Fort Sumter. And then I will go ahead and play my Minutemen. 1, 2...
True democracy makes no inquiry.
Oh, I have to put them all in one space. Okay, that's fine.
Wherever it sees man, it recognizes a being endowed by his creation.
Oh, I kicked us into the final crisis, which means I lost a victory point but got 4 bonus tokens. Oh, damn. You know what? I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. So we're gonna do the same turn. But I'm not gonna add all 3 tokens. I'm only gonna add 2. Because the bonus tokens aren't worth it. I don't want to breach Final Crisis first. I'd rather force the Union to do it, if I can. And then we commit. Pivotal space bonus. I've got Washington. I've got the fort. Okay. So I get to remove or move a token in political. I'm going to kick him out of Montgomery. Here's my thinking. We've already seen him get the northern state houses. So yeah, let's kick him out of Montgomery. Oh, yes! And then let's move from Washington to Montgomery, which will make it easier for me to take the dimension in the last turn. Like, see, I don't get why I'm not getting the bonus for armaments. Let's quickly check the rule book. Oh, you won't let me? That's kind of lame. Alright. I don't know why that's happening. It's weird that it's not giving me this ability, unless it's because I completely control it anyway.
For what is slavery?
And you can only move or remove tokens from it.
One person to the control and disposal of another person.
So, Crisis Dimension. I'm going to get a victory point for armaments. There, he's going to get one for public opinion.
To such control and disposal.
What was your objective? The abolitionist space. Okay. But I got Fort Sumter. Oh, that's a nasty one. Oh shit, he just got control of the border space. Damn it. I'm gonna kick you out of the northern state houses. Because that way next turn I can try to take this for myself. Oh, that was a dick move. I applaud you.
Plainly, the central idea
This is a neck and neck game.
is the essence of anarchy.
Okay, I can move the Peace Commissioner, but I don't think we'll bother with that. This is such a terrible hand, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and play this token. Or will I? No, because if I take State Assemblies, I can kick any two tokens out of any space. And I can actually play my Peace Commissioner's card for that value. Let's do it. But you'll notice a lot of these cards just aren't that helpful to us. We got kind of a bad draw on this last hand here. Hopefully it means that he also got a bad draw, though. Okay, he's challenging me in the armaments. Which isn't the worst thing ever, because I'm going to be able to kick him out as long as I hold the federal arsenal. I need to get him out of the border states. I could use Georgia's siege to do exactly that. Let's do that. Remove. Let's get you out of the border states. What is your plan, AI? Why all of a sudden are you moving into armaments, which you've been ignoring for most of the game? Interesting.
Old as the everlasting hills.
Yeah, he had some really good cards this time around.
Certain as the purposes of eternal power.
Shit.
Against all hindrances and against all delays and despite all the mutations of
And I need to take the state assemblies, don't I? Or I don't get my objective. And I'm gonna need the victory points from that.
That this anti-slavery cause will triumph.
Let's do it. 1, 2. I'll put one of the northern state houses too, because it'll give me a dimension. The AI is really convinced it wants newspapers, and there's not much I'm going to be able to do to keep him from getting that. Which basically means it's going to be impossible for me to get my... And he triggered the final crisis first, which is what I really wanted him to do. Yeah, he literally can't use this event as it's played. Alright. Now what do we do? I need to make sure I've got rock solid control on the state assemblies. Or we won't get our objective. And I'm counting on the objective mattering quite a lot. All the pivotal spaces are controlled. I've got... Wait, how many of these do we actually have?
Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves.
Okay, I can move, remove 2 in political. There's no point to that. But I can do it in armaments, which is very good. And that's fine. I wonder if only you get to use one bonus. Maybe that's the problem. Crisis Dimension. Okay. So public opinion is up for grabs. I've got armaments and I've got political. He's got secession. This is where we've made our move. Oh, he needed the Deep South space, so there's a point for him, but then I get one too. Where do I want to kick him out of? Do I want to kick him out of the newspapers? No, because they're not going to be able to get to abolitionists. Let's kick him out of the border states. Wait. That was the third round. The next thing is final scoring. I want to do anything that's going to keep him from getting a crisis dimension. Get out of Texas, you loser. That is absolutely worth it.
Human action can be modified to some extent, but human nature cannot...
Now, he can deny me. He can just kick me out of one of these political, and then I can't do anything about that.
This is a world of
final crisis. So now we decide the order.
And he who would be no slave must consent
before we do the final round of scoring.
Those who deny freedom to others,
can I please see the map? Thank you.
Not for themselves,
and
under a
do I have public opinion or do I have a public opinion? Okay.
We feel that our honor and safety require that Fort Sumter should be in our possession.
That is going to be a tough sell. But I think we're going to do public opinion first and then armaments for the last two. Okay, so we're going to do public opinion, armaments. So if they match, it's actually bad. Because you both have to take tokens off the board. But if they don't match, that's good. So they don't match. So I can move up to 2 tokens from a space into the played location. Or I can just use my pool. And my pool is actually rather well compensated. So I'm going to put 2 in newspapers.
You will evacuate Fort Sumter and agree in the meantime that you will not use your guns against us unless ours shall be employed against Fort Sumter. We will abstain from...
And then he gets armaments.
You are thus to avoid...
Oh, the Peace Commissioner goes away. Oh, damn. Okay. I didn't realize that happened at the end. Okay. Alright. We're going to put 1 in Fort Sumter and 1 in the Federal Arsenal. And here they match. So I have to remove a token or remove 2 from any other space. And this is a no-brainer, right? I'm going to take 2 out of the state assemblies. Alright. I think we're going to win this game, but it's going to be awfully close. No, he's going to get a bonus victory point for Douglas. We would actually finish with a tie. Oh, nope. I beat him. And there we go. That came right down to the wire. And I think the fact I was able to retake Fort Sumter really mattered quite a lot there. So that's Fort Sumter. I get an achievement. And we're just going to take a quick look at the rule book. Settings. Pivotal spaces. Within any spaces of that crisis dimension. Move any 2. Remove any 2. Interesting. That is very interesting. I don't know why that doesn't... that's confusing to me. I wonder if that might be a bug in the game. that it wouldn't let me move people around in the armament space. That is strange. But yeah, so that was Fort Sumter. Hopefully you guys found it an enjoyable experience. If you guys want to see more on the channel, do feel free to drop a like. I really like digital board games. And this may become a recurring feature with the channel if it's something that you guys dig too. But for now, thank you for watching, and until next time, I bid you good day.